I'm Marle. This channel exists to connect gamers to MMOs they'll love. In this series, I play an old-school, non-instance, group-based, refreshingly deep MMORPG called Arelith. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more MMO content. In the last episode, as I turned the corner in the Duskwood to test the efficacy of my new spells, I stumbled onto a pack of undead being led by an elite wight. It's possible this encounter will be a little over my head, yet it's time to put my new spells to the test, although I forgot to cast Stone Skin in my excitement. Yet, we can evaluate death armor. You can see that when I'm successfully hit, the opponent is dealt damage in return, so death armor is demonstrating its utility. However, because I also forgot to cast Ghostly Visage for damage reduction, it's quite dangerous to be losing hit points, so this trade-off does not seem to be circumstantially worth it. Moreover, the flowing pool of filth on the ground seems to be an aurora, toggled by one of the undead. Periodically, I have to pass a save in order not to succumb to its effects. Third, because I'm as brilliant as an illustrious savant, by using a sword to fight these wights that have damage reduction to slashing damage, I'm curiously elongating this encounter. Regardless, I love the wights' attack animations. Do you see how, when they attempt to attack, they try to bite your character's neck? A beautiful detail. I pick off the less dangerous creatures first. Doing so creates a more predictable melee environment in which I feel safe enough to toggle off Expertise, a feat that trades 5 attack bonus for 5 armor class. Since all elite mobs are considered unique, once the bonds of necromantic tethering dissipates from its rotten sinews, Marle is rewarded additional adventuring experience. Arelith developers also updated how magical loot is generated on the server, yet I don't seem to have experienced the benefits yet. A veteran is welcome to let us know what the system used to be like, how it functions now, and any updates being made to it since release. While looting the remains of the already dead, I notice a magical cape that happens to be an upgrade. It changes my appearance, so I examined its design. Early gear progression in Arelith is fantastic. My experience in later levels is that it slows down to about early EverQuest tempos with a heavier emphasis on crafting, which I adore, yet experienced players can shape my understanding. It's at this point that I realized that I did not cast many of my defensive spells, so I fixed that. But will it be enough for what's to come? Here's another pack of already dead, so let's test the difference. Notice that the warrior ghost is, well, a ghost. This grants innate concealment, similar to the spell Ghostly Visage, which makes landing a melee blow less likely. There's a feat called Blind Fight that addresses this problem, yet Marle hasn't learned it yet. But the pseudo-dragon surprises me when an apocalyptic tornado of fire erupts from her mouth. It draws the attention of a shadow and right, yet she's not particularly well suited to tank, so I have to adjust my tactics accordingly. They also have sneak attacks, which add additional damage if contextually allowed. Since there are other mobs and melee around me, this ghost can enjoy its benefit to my disadvantage. You can see that I deal more damage to zombies than rights. That's because they don't have damage reduction to slashing. This shadow, similar to the warrior, also benefits from concealment. Once the battle terminates, I find a new spell I can learn, Ray of Enfeeblement. I have always loved the feeling when games incorporate looting skills. EverQuest 2 and Project Gorgon come immediately to mind as good examples. What features of Arelith do you particularly enjoy? But there's no rest for the weary. Up ahead is another pack led by another elite who's a shadow warrior. I'll have to be mindful of its sneak attacks. I pull by casting Gedley's Electric Loop, by which Marle conjures a ball of negatively powered atoms that jump between foes sufficiently close together. This is a foreshadowing of an evolution of a spell sword ability shown in a future episode. As the brawl continues, the manifold eyes dancing about Marle's head indicate she is benefiting from the effects of Ultra Vision, a spell that enables her to see well at night through magical darkness and avoid spot penalties for hidden mobs. After the fray completes, I loot not only a magical glove, yet one with a Thoras rune that can be augmented via Dweomir crafting. I have little idea what this means or how to go about utilizing this feature, so I heartily welcome an Arelith veteran to point me in the right direction. As I adventure deeper into the Duskwood, I need to balance how far away from Scaliard I explore to ensure I can make it home in one piece. I can't simply recall home, at least not yet. Notice that the slowly walking zombie, equipped with a mace, is bringing with it a putrid poison aurora. Of course, I fail a fortitude save against it. The result is lowered constitution that both lowers my fortitude save and hit points. This becomes important and generally is a big deal, so I have to be careful. To add insult to injury, a right curses me, which is different than being poisoned since I failed another fortitude save, so you can see that there are accumulating effects. Still more, even though the right's attack did no damage to Marle, my damage shield only had a certain amount of HP to absorb, which has now been used, so I'm even more vulnerable. And my pseudo-dragon dies. This is problematic for a few reasons. Number one, when she is defeated, historically, I am not in an auspicious situation. Secondly, I just now realized that a familiar, when killed, reduces the HP of its owner. So when she hit the ground, I lost 9 hit points. Third, I now have no off-tank for distraction. And I cannot resummon her for another 10 minutes. I'm not sure if I'll make it out alive. I hope this encounter shows the difference between soloing and grouping, since the last episode demonstrated how safety is enhanced with numbers. That was close. Too close. As I loot the twice dead, I stumble upon a potion of lesser restoration. I hope that it cures my curse. Yet it doesn't. Veterans of Arelith, what's the use of this elixir, and how do I remove the debuff? A contra-gravity vacuum of light pulls my attention. Remember it for a future episode. The coast looks clear, right? My character could not see the troop of undead behind the rock wall, so neither could I. A word to the wise. Ultravision does not grant X-ray sight. However, once she notices them, and vice versa, their excited groans come spilling forth. You can see in the console that the tyrant fog zombie is surrounded by a deadly cloud, likely the same one that affected her earlier. Also, notice that the shadow warriors were hidden until they exposed themselves in combat. I love details like this. Of course, in expected fashion, this band too is led by Arelith. As I speed up combat, see how the dance of melee pulls the center of movement around the ground? What great design. I, perhaps overconfidently, continue to push deeper into the Duskwood. I notice some graves up on a hill and decide to investigate. I hope this isn't foreshadowing. Yet lurking hidden in the skies is a carrion eater. It's just a solo bird, so what could be dangerous about this raptor? While I start off with a critical strike, the bird immediately deals 10 damage that was absorbed by my damage shield. I'm a bit frustrated at my pseudo-dragon, because she seems to be hovering idle when I need her most. However, to my great pleasure, she is in fact casting Cone Attack, which successfully finds its target. I also deal an additional 16 points of damage, yet I begin to worry because every mob I have fought so far would have already been killed. I also seem to notice that it can attack twice per turn, so its potential damage output is double than mine. My pseudo-dragon falls victim again, yet the last time this occurred I could recover. However, I'm damaged because of her death. Due to the acute danger, I toggle expertise, yet this results in me landing fewer blows as a result of a lowered attack bonus. Will the trade-off be worth it? And my damage shield fades into the neither. But the carrion is near death. But the bird stuns me. I now have no more agency in melee than one of these tombstones. Hopefully not an ill omen. Will Marle make it out alive? Watch the next episode to find out. Thanks for watching.